What is up, guys, and welcome back. We got a crazy video for you guys today. But before we dive into this video, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, turn notifications on. I make fresh new content every single week. Lately, been making the content almost daily. But yeah, guys, alright, let's get into the video. So I don't know if you guys saw my one video on Danny Ray Davis, who was a fishing cheater, who ultimately ended up dead. And there was like this whole crazy conspiracy around it, that there was like some crazy bass fishing ring, like illegal bass fishing ring, that was running bass from Florida all the way to Texas and stocking them in these lakes and making sure that the people that they were betting on were going to win the tournaments and all this crazy stuff. And then Danny Ray Davis ultimately ended up dead. It was ruled a suicide, but so many people thought that he was murdered. I've been digging into that. I've been digging into that a lot. It seems like this crazy organization may be involved. The more I looked into it and the more stuff I found, the more little conspiracies, I just went down this rabbit hole of like articles, and it appears that the Dixie Mafia may have been involved in that and also been involved in other things like that. I don't know, guys, this is crazy. I probably shouldn't be talking about this stuff, but most of the stuff I'm talking about is going to be stuff that happened back in like the 80s and stuff. But apparently the Dixie Mafia is still around, and they kind of have their hand in a little bit of everything. It is absolutely crazy, guys. And one of those things appears to be maybe local bass tournaments and possibly even professional bass tournaments. But yeah, guys, I don't know. We're gonna dive into this. This is gonna be a crazy little discussion. I should have almost done this live. We might revisit this live so that I can interact with you guys a little bit more, like in real time. For those of you that don't know, the Dixie Mafia is an American crime organization based in the South, based out of Mississippi, but they operate all in pretty much the southern United States, especially the southern, southeastern United States. And like I said, they kind of have their hand in a little bit of everything. They started like in the 60s. They were like really big through the 70s and 80s, and they're still around today. But yeah, when they first started, they were involved in like residential burglary, robbery, theft, stuff like that. Then they started running some moonshine, and it just kept progressing. They only had one rule that every member was expected to obey, and that was thou shalt not snitch to the cops. What's so crazy about these guys too is, so they did most of their crime like in smaller areas, like small like rural areas, or just like small towns that didn't have like very good law enforcement. So they were able to do they were able to get away with a lot because the law enforcement was so weak in those areas. And that's how they managed to just kind of like take over the southern United States. And what's crazy is they started like infiltrating the cops and politicians, and they were getting on all these different like organizations, like they were like getting on the boards of all these different organizations and just kind of like controlling everything. And it appears that amateur and professional bass fishing may have been one of those things that they got in and had control over. And this is just crazy. Like they basically were appointing people of their of the Dixie Mafia to all these different types of organizations where you can make money, and then they were controlling it. And once they had their people appointed to specific positions, they were able to control everything. That's like with this law enforcement. They pretty much infiltrated tons of small sheriff departments throughout the southern United States, and just had complete control. Like if they have somebody in the sheriff's office, I mean, some of them are even sheriffs, mayors. Like this is crazy. Kind of conspiracy theory, I guess, but like not really, because there's so much information on this, guys. You just do a Google search and start reading. You just go down the rabbit hole, and it is unreal. But yeah, the more and more I was reading, the more that I really thought, because like one of the things they'll do is if like you snitch, that's when they they take you out. Like they actually have like hired hitmen like in the Dixie Mafia. It's funny, I feel like I shouldn't even be talking about this, y'all. Their MO was kind of making it look like a suicide, and then it's exactly how that Danny Ray Davis guy like went out. It was a lot of speculation that it was murder, but it looked like a suicide, and that's just what they went with. But again, if they've infiltrated all these sheriff's departments and all these police stations and stuff, it'd be really easy to make it look like a suicide if you have the sheriff, like if he's one of them. So who knows, guys? This is unfreaking real. I feel like there's a lot of stuff like this, and there's a lot of stuff that like people don't really know. It's like you just start digging into stuff, and it just gets crazy. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna link the video, the Danny Ray Davis video. I'm gonna link that one in the description so you guys can check that one out and just kind of follow and see where I'm coming from. Because when I first did that video, like I kind of had like, it felt like it could be like this, you know, it felt like it could be like something to do with the Dixie Mafia, but I wasn't sure, and like I hadn't really gone down the rabbit hole yet. But now that I have, I'm really thinking that's what it is, guys. Comment below, let me know what you think. Let me know if, I actually saw some comments on that last video, people talking about this. That's kind of what got me more interested in more, like, just wanted to do more research on the topic. The Dixie Mafia started getting more into gambling and sports betting and stuff, and one of the sports that they would actually bet on was bass fishing. So it all just makes so much freaking sense to me that that's what happened with that particular case. I found some other stuff that tied them to like fishing and stuff, and I mean, you know, they're from the South, you know, boys from the South like to fish. But yeah, I want to get back to them like infiltrating the sheriff's departments and stuff. Like apparently they were like letting their own people out of jail and stuff. Like they would, like, because since they've infiltrated the sheriff's departments, like anyone that came in that was of, you know, in their group, they would let out, and they would use the sheriff departments to extort local businesses, aid in prostitution, and they would even murder their political opponents. Like if they were losing the election, they would murder their opponent. It's just so freaking crazy. And what's wild is a lot of people think this stuff's still going on today, and they are still active today. How crazy would it be if they had fully infiltrated like professional bass fishing? Like they've obviously dabbled in, like, you know, the amateur tournament aspect of it, but like what if they've infiltrated the professional stuff and like nobody would know, and they wouldn't want you to know, and if it got out, they just get rid of them. So this is pretty crazy stuff, guys. Again, comment below, let me know what you think. I know this one's kind of crazy, but I'm telling you guys, just Google this stuff, and once you start getting into it, it's hard to stop reading up on this, because yeah, this is some pretty crazy stuff. But that is all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please smash the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'll see you next time.